On this episode of Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica, we discuss the challenges the tour managed to overcome throughout the COVID-19 pandemic during a sit-down interview with PGA Tour Latinoamérica Executive Director Todd Reinhardt.
It's been a challenging year. It's really given us a chance to look at our business and what we're doing in the future too.
We will take you to Colombia and Ecuador for the Holcim Colombia Classic presented by VOLVO and the Banco del Pacifico Open.
I'd heard some good things about this place and got to play all 18 yesterday, and the course is awesome. Really enjoyed it.
In Golf 101, Canada's Drew NESBITT will show us how his putting routine works prior to a tournament. All this and more up next on Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica. Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica. Following a 4-year absence, PGA Tour Latinoamérica made its return to Colombia to play the Holcim Colombia Classic presented by VOLVO. This time around, the tour traveled to the city of Bucaramanga, with the club Campestre de Bucaramanga acting as the host venue.
La cancha está en perfectas condiciones, pero igual el rough está muy alto. Hay que tener cuidado porque fallar ahí va a ser muy penalizador, pero igual creo que hay muchos tiros que uno puede darse chances, entonces creo que buenos scores sí van a haber.
The sixth event of the 2020-21 season featured 19 of the leading 20 players on the PGA Tour Latinoamérica points list. Playing the US Open that week, Alvaro Ortiz was the only top 20 player missing this event. Fresh off his victory at the club at Weston Hills, Brandon Matthews arrived as the new points list number 1. His sights were set on extending his lead on the race for Player of the Year honors. As expected, the club Campestre de Bucaramanga tested the tour's best players with a tight and challenging layout.
You can play it a lot of different ways. I'm sure there'll be guys that are trying to hit drivers up by the green and make birdies that way, and then there'll be guys that'll be laying back with irons and trying to wedge it close. So it's a course that gives you a lot of options, and that's pretty cool.
Coming off missed cuts in 2 of his last 3 starts, Mexico's Raul Pereira turned things around with a bogey-free 7 under 64 in the opening round. It was good enough to stand atop the leaderboard.
Fallé en un fairway, eso siempre estuve en posición, fallé 2 greens, saqué 2 muy buenos up and downs y empecé a agarrar mucha confianza con el pot, que la verdad eso me ayuda mucho y fui muy paciente.
Hitting fairway after fairway, the 24-year-old from the city of Cordoba in Veracruz, New Mexico, went on to record 7 birdies to finish that opening day holding a 2-shot lead over U.S. player Sam Stevens. And only 4 days earlier in Weston, Florida, Stevens was a man to watch during his first ever visit to Colombia. 24-year-old Oklahoma State University alum was at 1 over after a birdie on his 3rd hole, but collected 7 birdies the rest of the way for a 5 under 66. That day, Argentina's Leandro Morelli made noise by recording the first albatross of the season at the par 5 number 8. Morelli went on to shoot a 68 to make it inside the top 10. Starting the second round at 6:30 a.m. the following day, Stevens went on to card a 69. He didn't expect his 7 under total to be good enough for the outright lead, but nobody was able to catch him. Stevens finished the day holding a 1-shot lead over Sweden's Linus Liljedahl and opening round leader Raul Pereira. Stevens started the day with consecutive birdies on holes 3 and 4 to make the turn at 2 under. On the back 9, he made another birdie on 15, but gave back a shot with a bogey at the par 3 18th.
It was a good round. From start to finish, pretty stress-free. Only made the 1 bogey on the last hole, which was a bummer. But yeah, I was just in the fairways and give myself lots of birdie looks and pretty stress-free from the beginning to the end.
In addition to being a professional golfer, PGA Tour Latinoamérica member Oreste Focaccia is a passionate musician. The 26-year-old from La Plata, Argentina, devotes most of his spare time to writing and singing reggaeton songs. Today, we have his latest release for you to enjoy.
Si mañana va a buscarme, juro que yo no sé, pero sé que estás pensando en ese día de placer. Me llama la noche y pienso que eso es normal, pero si me buscan por amor yo no lo sé. Si mañana va a buscarme, juro que yo no sé, pero sé que estás pensando en ese día de placer. Me llama la noche y pienso que eso es normal, pero si me buscan por amor yo no lo sé.
Late that Friday afternoon, a beloved Colombian caddy, Jose Edgar Preciado, had a heart attack and passed away while at the clubhouse at Bucaramanga Country Club. The news left players, fellow caddies, and tournament officials all in shock.
Rogamos a Dios que donde quiera que esté Edgar, esté en sus altas glorias.
PGA Tour Latinoamérica officials decided to continue with the competition, but not before paying tribute to a person who passed away while working for his family's well-being on something he was truly passionate about. After our first break, we will hear from PGA Tour Latinoamérica Executive Director Todd Reinhardt. We will also learn who walked away with the tournament trophy at the Holcim Colombia Classic presented by Volvo. All this and more when Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica returns. Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica. Todd Reinhardt took over as PGA Tour Latinoamérica Executive Director at the end of 2019. Not long after, the COVID-19 pandemic provided a huge challenge. Under his leadership, the tour team overcame many obstacles to put together a 2020-21 season featuring 8 tournaments, a schedule that would allow a new class to graduate to the Korn Ferry Tour.
So we're here with Todd Reinhardt, Executive Director of PGA Tour Latinoamérica. So Todd, this has been a really unique year, a lot of challenges, but also a lot of opportunities. Can you talk to us about some of the changes that await the PGA Tour Latinoamérica season next year?
Since March, when COVID hit and the pandemic, we had played one event in Mazatlan, Mexico, and we had to reconfirm our schedule, figure out where to play. So it's been a challenging year. It's really given us a chance to look at our business and what we're doing in the future too. So it's definitely been a great exercise in patience.
That's great. So are there any big changes coming up next season?
I don't think big changes necessarily. We're looking at playing 12 to 14 events to comprise our season. Many years ago was to play a lot more events, but what we found is that 12 to 14 events is the right number to graduate our members to the Korn Ferry Tour, and that's our primary objective. It also has given us a chance to really make sure we play in the right places.
So the Korn Ferry Tour saw the most amount of PGA Tour alumni wins this season. What would you attribute that to?
I just think the game of golf today is so much more competitive at every level. There's just so many more opportunities for these players to compete at a younger level, and because of that, we're seeing just tremendous growth, I think, in the game. And to see our players do well on the Korn Ferry Tour level, we've had 156 alumni play, and we've had 31 winners. And I think it just is a testimony to how many good golfers are in Latin America, in the US, and other places that comprise our membership. And it's really exciting to see.
So we've been seeing a lot of messages of support coming from current PGA Tour players to PGA Tour Latinoamérica members. Recently, Mito Pereira and Austin Smotherman receiving that outreach. So tell me a little bit about the respect and the support and encouragement that these players have for each other.
I think the guys who have made it to the PGA Tour have been in the shoes of these guys who are trying to achieve their dream of one day making it to the biggest stage of golf. And they know how much hard work and effort they put into it. So we travel to 9 different countries for Latin America. So they know that hard work and effort and finally paying it off. And I think that's what's so unique about this game is the respect that each playing competitor has for one another.
So what advice would you give to a player in Latin America that wants to be a part of PGA Tour Latino America?
The PGA Tour Latino America provides a great platform. The best advice I'd say is to work hard and practice, and you'll see the fruits of the labor. And we say that with a lot of our players who have won. And we talked about Mito Pereira. He won on the Korn Ferry Tour and he secured his PGA Tour card. So he could be a great role model for future Chilean golfers.
Well, thank you for your time, Todd. We really enjoyed learning more about PGA Tour Latino America, and we look forward to seeing how the rest of the season shapes up.
Thank you so much.
With 61 players from 17 countries left in the race for the title of the Holcim Colombia Classic presented by Volvo, Saturday's third round at Bucaramanga Country Club ended with a trio of players tied for the lead at 9 under. The co-leading trio featured Patrick Newcomb, who came from behind firing a round low 66, second round leader Sam Stevens, who shot 69, and opening round leader Raul Pereira, who posted a 68.
Today was great. Honestly, I felt like today I played the best I have all week. I hit it awesome, and hopefully it'll turn around tomorrow and I can just keep swinging it the way I'm swinging it.
Playing with Stevens in the last group, Pereira got off to somewhat of a slow start, making a bogey and a birdie on the front 9. However, an eagle on 11 got him going, and after consecutive birdies on 16 and 17, he reached the final hole leading by 1 at 10 under. His closing bogey at the 195-yard par 3 prevented him from claiming the outright lead back, with 18 holes left to play.
Fue muy sólido otra vez desde el tee, muy sólido arriba del green. No puedo ser más que eso. Estoy contento con lo que hice.
Sunday was a great day at Bucaramanga Country Club, with the crowds we had so very much missed for several months providing a unique atmosphere. Two of the three co-leaders, Raul Pereira and Patrick Newcomb, were unable to get going, shooting 74 and 72 respectively, to slip behind Sam Stevens, who took control with his third consecutive round of 69. At 11 under for the tournament, following his third and final birdie of the day on number 10, the 25-year-old made 8 pars, coming in to defend the top spot and win by 1.
Super excited, obviously. I knew that coming into this week I was playing well, and when I got here, and I was really impressed with the course, really liked the layout, and I was just able to kind of keep playing well this week, and never got too far ahead of myself, and just was able to capitalize on the good shots and minimize the bad shots, so it was a good week.
Playing some impressive golf, recording 17 of his 20 rounds in the 60s, Stevens went on to claim the PGA Tour Latino America lowest scoring average at 68 strokes per round.
To win the points list would be awesome. I've got a little work to do still to catch Brandon, but I try not to worry too much about that. I just try to get better and play as hard as I can every week, and we'll see where that puts me.
With the win, Stevens made it all the way to the second spot on the points list standings, right behind fellow American Brandon Matthews. Up next on Esto as PGA Tour Latino America, Toronto, Canada native Drew NESBITT will reveal his putting practice routine in Golf 101. And then we'll travel to Quito, Ecuador, for everything that went down on the race for the Banco del Pacifico Open title. We'll be right back. Esto as PGA Tour Latino America. Esto as PGA Tour Latino America. Drew NESBITT has been one of the most consistent players of the 2020-21 PGA Tour Latino America season. The Canadian got a second place at the Mexican Golf Open and also at the Banco del Pacifico Open. In this Golf 101, Drew NESBITT will share with us his tricks and tips for a putting routine prior to a round of competition.
So Drew, I know you hold the lowest round record of any player on PGA Tour Latinoamerica history with a 59, so your putting has to be on point.
I'll say it's a little bit streaky, but all things considered, yeah, I can make the putts when I have to.
Okay, so I want to learn. Show me how you break it down, how you set up, all of it.
All right, let's do it. So I'll start with just 2, 3, 4 footers. And I'll make about maybe 5 to 6 of these and just give myself a lot of confidence that I know my stroke is working from close range. And then what I'll do is I'll move around the hole and make sure I hit uphill, downhill, left to right, right to left, giving myself all of the options, same way you'd prepare for any other shot on the range. And I would just move around the hole from close distances, giving myself that confidence. And then as I do that, I'll work away slowly away from the hole and make sure I work on my speed, because that's the most important part of putting is speed as well. A lot of people talk about the stroke and the line, but speed will help you dictate where you want the ball to start. If I have this putt and I hit it 5 feet past the hole versus if it rolls over that first edge, last roll, the line on that putt's gonna be very different. So, I'll make sure that I move a little bit farther away from the hole, make sure that my speed is dialed in for today, and I'll just work my way around, and eventually I'll even come back to 20 and 30 foot putts and try to hit some lag putts to make sure that my lag speed's going well, because those putts are going to be different than 10 to 15 feet. Make sure you're eliminating any 3 putts. So now a longer putt, I'll just try to make sure I'm working on speed and getting that ball somewhere around the hole where it doesn't roll too far by. And that's pretty much all I do. I'm really simple. I don't try to, complicate it too much or work on stroke. If I have any stroke issues, I would have worked on that prior to the tournament starting, and I try to show up where my stroke and my game is prepared.
So how much time would you spend out here before a round?
I usually spend about an hour, all things, putting, chipping, and on the range. So anywhere, it's roughly about 20 minutes a piece, and if not, even more time on putting.
Nice, okay. So for a novice golfer like myself, show me what to do, how to set up, and any other tips and tricks that you have.
Absolutely. So we'll see here. Obviously, I know you might not be left-handed, but there's my putter. So what I'd like to see you do is set up to the ball where your shoulders are just hanging, or your arms are hanging comfortably under your shoulders. The ball's in the middle of your feet, and your stance and the putter should be aligned the same. So wherever you want this line on the putter to go, so roughly about there, your stance should be square or perpendicular or parallel with that. And all you're trying to do now is just rock your shoulders in a nice gentle motion and take as much pressure out of your hands as possible. Just like that. So now that one, the putter was just a little bit left of where you'd wanted it to go, so we can be a little bit more aggressive, because obviously that ball didn't get to the hole. So we'd like to hit it a little firmer. There you go.
All right, how about that? Well,
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. We learned a lot here on putting, and this was great.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Established in 2014 and celebrating its 7th edition, the Banco del Pacifico Open in Quito, Ecuador has become a player favorite on PGA Tour Latinoamerica. Competing on a course perfectly manicured at Quito Tennis and Golf Club, players enjoy the challenges of competing at almost 10,000 feet. The opening day belonged to Chile's Cristobal del Solar and Canada's Drew NESBITT, who posted rounds of 66 to tie for first. Coming off consecutive missed cuts, NESBITT needed a start like this to get his confidence back and defend his spot inside the tour's top 10.
I'm not really worried about what I've done the last 2 weeks. My focus is right now. I've had very good results in this tour in the past, or the positive mindset, knowing that I can, play and compete out here at the highest level. So I'm just looking forward to the challenge tomorrow.
On the second day, NESBITT followed his opening 66 with a 69 to secure the outright lead at 9 under. The 26-year-old managed to open a one-shot lead over a large group of 8 players that included points list number 5, Alexander Rocha of Brazil. NESBITT opened his second day with birdies on 4 and 5, plus a bogey on 6. On the back 9, the Canadian got rolling with a trio of birdies on 10, 12, and 15. A double bogey at the next hole, where he found water off the tee, prevented him from enjoying a larger lead heading into the weekend.
It's going to be a dogfight. You got to keep the foot on the pedal. This is a challenging leaderboard, very good players, and this event plus one more to finish our season, and the points race is tight, so every point matters, and this weekend's very important, and it'll be very, very key for me to just continue doing what I'm doing.
On Saturday, NESBITT put the pedal down, firing a 7 under 65 for the lowest round of the week. On the strength of such a performance, he opened a 4-shot lead with only 18 holes left to play. Making the field as the runner-up at the Monday qualifier, Mexico's Emilio Gonzalez carded a 67 to charge into solo second at 12 under.
There's a lot of players, good players, one shot behind me, and I needed to make sure that I went out and played a very good round of golf, and that's exactly what I did.
NESBITT got things going with back-to-back birdies on number 4, a drivable par 4. Striking a solid 300-yard drive over the trees, he hit the ball within 12 feet. Although he missed the eagle putt, he was in great shape. His only bogey came at the next hole, but he bounced back with consecutive birdies on 6, 7, and 8. On the back 9, he took advantage of the 2 par 5s, 11 and 17, for 2 more birdies that strengthened his lead heading into Sunday.
I got to keep the pedal down. That's the goal. That's what I came here to do. Tomorrow's no different, and the preparation's no different. It's just one round of golf, and I got to go out there and take care of business.
On Sunday, NESBITT got off to a shaky start, and his lead quickly evaporated. The door was suddenly open for several contenders. And Connor Godsey took advantage of the opportunity to join him in a tie for lead at the end of regulation. Having a tough day, NESBITT found the strength to make a late comeback, birdieing the final 2 holes for a final round of 71. On a day he started trailing by 6 shots, Godsey made 9 birdies to fire a final round low 7 under 65. Tied for the lead at 17 under, they went back to 18, and Godsey made a birdie that clinched his first career victory on PGA Tour Latinoamérica.
Feels incredible. Winning anywhere is hard, winning out here is hard, and winning on this golf course is hard. So I played some great golf, and it feels incredible to be the champ.
Playing the 73rd hole, Godsey hit a 4-iron off the tee, just as he did all week. His next shot from the left rough was a terrific 185-yard pitching wedge that landed within 10 feet.
I want to try to keep it going in Mexico and see how high we can get.
With Godsey rising to number 2, the points list top spot still belonged to Brandon Matthews, who picked up a valuable top 5 finish in Quito. The stage was set for the season-ending tournament to be played in Tulum, Mexico. Next time on Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica, the Bupa Championship presented by Volvo, the 8th and final event of the 2020-21 season, awaits us. In addition to crowning one last tournament champion, we will see who will move on to the Korn Ferry Tour in 2022. We will also learn about the launch of the Total Play Cup, a new season-long competition starting next season on PGA Tour Latinoamérica.